Ryan with Geek here, and today we're posting a video that's a little bit different. This is a QCX mini tip. It's in that series, but it's not very mini. The reason being that it's kind of longish at about 15 minutes, and we go into troubleshooting, and well, not really troubleshooting, kind of just going on a hunch, replacing a part, and does it work? Of course, the problem here is that the QCX Mini won't align. I kind of went over that in the previous video. So I'm trying to figure that out. I had a hunch. That hunch did not pan out. Or does it? Watch the video and find out. Or just skip to the end. But if you want to see how to replace a very, very small SMD component with nothing more than the usual soldering iron and solder, stay tuned. This is a 20 meter QCX Mini, purchased in the first batch. It's not quite working. So as I showed in the previous video, so adjusting these has no bearing on the alignment, unfortunately. So it's as if the phasing just isn't happening. So I actually experienced this problem on a QRP Labs receiver board, and that was the direct conversion receiver board that has the polyphase network on it. Of course, that is a Taylor detector, which is what we're seeing here too, I believe. But basically what this chip does here is it takes in RF on pins 7 and 9 coming from the phase splitter, which is these two windings right here, and then puts out the the base signal plus 90 plus 180 plus 270 phase offset, and it's not working. This happened to me on the receiver board as well, and so I actually replaced the receiver board and everything started working. I thought it was because I had wound the toroid wrong on the phase splitter wrong on the receiver board, but now I'm kind of wondering, because I did rewind to T1. If you pay attention to my previous videos, you'll see that this T1 is a different color. It's the same toroid, but I rewound it with some other magnet wire that I had, and you can see this one's the original color. I just did that for fun, but what I should have done is alternated them, but I didn't think about it. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and replace this chip, and it's actually not that hard. Despite not having any SMD rework tools, all I have is a regular, these are my tools. Solder and a soldering gun. So removing this is a lot easier than you would think. And so what I'm going to attempt to do is do this live while you're watching. And you would think that what I'm going to do is, try to heat all these up and pull it off and then the other side. That's unfortunately quite impossible. In fact, what I'm going to do is get this out of the way for now, put it safely to the side. But it is impossible to pull up all these, and I do want to preserve this chip. I don't want to destroy it, and so it's easy to do this. All we're going to do is we need for it to stay hot long enough to slide it off the board, and that's not hard to do. What we're going to do here is we're going to add solder. We're going to let the solder keep it hot. So it may look really crazy that I'm adding all this solder, but I promise I'm not crazy. I've done this before. Yeah, is it the best way to go about it? No, I don't know. Probably not, but I don't have a higher rework station and fancy stuff. This is what I have, and this is what I have figured out works. And the idea here is that I'm adding enough solder in here. There we go. That this will stay molten long enough for me to slide that off the board. So you can see it's taking a while to solidify, and that's what I want. So I'm going to try to do this on the other side as well. I'm going to have to move my camera a bit. And I don't want that there. Get that out of the way. And just so you know, I'm definitely disadvantaged doing this while my phone is basically sitting on my magnifier. I can see out of the corner of it, but it's enough. All right, so yeah, I've got enough on there, I think. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more. You might say, oh, it's a waste of solder. You can say what you like. This is what works for me. Haters gonna hate. No, I got awesome, but don't have a lot of followers, but I got awesome followers, so thank you for following and subscribing to the channel. So what I'm doing is I'm getting this hot. In fact, I'm going to crank up the heat on my soldering iron just a little bit, because I want this to stay molten long enough for me to slide this off. And I think we're getting there. I actually have to add more solder here. Yep. And by the way, yes, in case you're wondering, this did take a can of liquid courage. Oh, service tension, you lovely beast. Oh, there it goes. Yes. Took a little bit of doing, but it done. All right. Oop. Oh, look at that. Only touched my soldering iron a little bit. All right. Got that out of the way. And we'll just clean up a little bit of these pads here. And yeah, I am a little surprised. I'm surprised it works too. But I've done this a couple of times. This is not my first time. All right, now it's time to get the new one on. And of course, I want to make sure we get it in the same orientation as the old one. Now there's the little dot right there at the front, or at the head of where pin 1 is. And of course, the component has the same thing on it. And it is a bit fiddly to put this on there and solder it. So let's see how it goes. And I am going to post this whether this works or not. It's a guess. It's a shot in the dark. I don't have the evidence to support that this is actually the problem. It's a hunch, and I'm going on it. Man, that's just so small. Doesn't help that I've got this big old solder blob in the way here. So the nice thing is these are pre-tinned, basically. There's lots of solder on them. And so now all we've got to do is hold it. Oops, sorry about that. Now all I've got to do is hold it down and solder it. Give myself a little more working room here. Sorry for the shaky cam. It's the best I can do. And really all I need is for one pin. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do pin number 1 and then pin number 9, which is the corner here and the corner on the other side. Okay, it's there. Now, the trick is to hold it down without moving it. Okay, there's that first pin. Alright, now get the other one. Yeah, it's a little offset on the pad. I'm not worried about it. Well, actually, I kind of am worried about it. How offset are we here? Yeah, further than I want to be. Let's get it moved over a bit. Which is easy to do since I only have one of them soldered, right? There, that's better. Well, it was. Okay, take your deep breath, relax here. Let the muscles go. Okay, I am pretty, well, I was pretty happy with that. By the way, in the receiver board manual, Hans recommends blue tacky stuff. That's actually a really good idea. I don't have any. Okay. All right, now it's not as pretty as the original soldering, I know, but let's do a quick inspection and make sure there's no, solder bridges here. And I'm going to pause the video and do my own visual inspection, but it looks good so far. All right, so my own visual inspection passed. I'm going to go ahead and assemble it, and let's take a look and see if it did anything. And if not, you know what? It's worth trying anyway. So we'll come back here in just a moment, and we'll have it powered up, and we'll give it a try. All right, so it's all powered up, and my phone is sliding down the thing here. All right, doing the best of what we have here. All right, let's go into alignment. Moment of truth. Let's see if I hear it. Yep, I hear it. That's good. Let's go into... Okay, this is probably the same as it was before, to be honest with you. All right, let's get it down to about 9. All right, get out the itsy bitsy tiny teeny weeny screwdriver. Okay, that was not the problem. Made zero difference. So there is a different problem. All right, well, this video obviously is a lot longer than the usual minis, but I think it's important to follow hunches. I also think it's important to troubleshoot based on evidence. I didn't do that this time, but it's also important to examine failures and say, okay, I jumped the gun. I should have had more evidence before I tried this. But it only took me, including making the video, this took me 20 minutes, 15 minutes really. So that's not a big time investment. The other part's obviously still good, so I threw it back in the bag. By the way, that was the Cura P-Labs receiver module kit that I've got on hand. And so I just threw it back in that bag, and I'll use it when I build that kit. But now I know this wasn't the problem, and could try something else. So thanks for watching. If you got this far, I really appreciate you sticking with me, and we'll keep at it. Perseverance and proper troubleshooting, and we'll do the best we can to get this thing on the air. Thanks for watching. 73.